YouTube. This is a bit of a different stream. I'm going to try this where I record these little yappy bits with chat. We're just talking. We're talking about Ray and I right now. And I figured, you know what? Why don't I record this and we can upload it? But we're talking about how Ray's a bit of a goofball. But also, I don't think people know or can tell that, like, in some ways, Ray's quite a bit more mature than I am, especially when it comes to I don't even know what you would categorize it, but um like being petty or being like reactionary. Ray has a much more mature view on other people's opinions of him or things that are going on than I do, if I'm being honest. She started, Kevin, no. Well, we're talking about Ray and I because our 11-year anniversary is next week on March 2nd. So Ray's much more like level-headed with emotions. Silently Special, thanks for checking in. Welcome to the stream today. I also got the bot set back up again. I don't know where he was on vacation last stream, I guess. Welcome everybody coming in. I hope you guys are having a good day so far. Guys, I started journaling again, if you can believe it. I'm somebody who like journals in bursts, but it's like a big focus for me this year is to journal because it always has such a positive impact on my mental health. And the journaling I'm doing, I bought a little Canon like Polaroid printer, so I can print little photos and put in there of the day and stuff. And it's like a mini scrapbook / journaling, and that's really nice. I'm also trying to learn like one new word like a day. And so in my journal, I'm like writing the word. Do you guys want to hear today's word of the day? Let's find one. I got this little vocabulary app that gives you like different vocabs, like different vocabulary words. Oh my God, this one so I'm trying to pick ones that I feel like I would use and can relate to me, if you will. So this one is here. Let me see if I can play it. Wait, no, I hit the wrong button. Ah!
Loquacious.
Can you hear that? It says loquacious.
Loquacious.
Sometimes the words, it's like, oh, I actually do know that word, but I would never think to use it. And that's why I think when you read a lot, your vocabulary gets much stronger because you're just being reminded of words that exist. And I think it's hard for a lot of people just to like keep in mind every word they know. So this is loquacious.
Loquacious.
Which means it's an adjective and it means talkative or chatty. Perfect for today's stream. I'm going to save this. I'll add this one. It says the loquacious diners took so much of the waiter's time that the other tables grew impatient. I like that. Let's go. Where's my... Is this favorites? Oh, this one's fun.
Vicissitudes.
Can you guys hear this? I'm gonna...
Vicissitudes.
It's vicissitudes, the changes and challenges that occur in the course of life or experience. Like, some of these words are so good at putting, like, certain feelings and stuff into words that I don't think about. And I do think it is so much better when you have more vocabulary. Hi, Indigo. I saved a bunch of words on here that I like to learn. Oh my God, this one's also great if you're like writing. Lovelorn. Lovelorn means feeling sad and lonely because of unrequited love. Like I just feel like the app I'm using is actually, it's just called Vocabulary. Uh and I got an ad for it on Instagram, and I have to say, like, a lot of the words that are on there I feel like are actually good words to know. Oh, we got a new villager. Welcome, Goldie. Welcome, Luna. Enjoy being Goldie. I feel like the words in this app are so great. This is on my list of words to learn and memorize.
Sanguine.
Sanguine. Sanguine means to be optimistic. This is I like this one because it's very what I try and be. My goal is to be like sanguine, which is optimistic or positive, especially in a difficult or uncertain situation. I love that one. I'm not like big on like, I don't know, affirmations or whatever, but I'm realizing I am big on having like a word of the day to like focus on. I'm trying to get better at expressing myself this year and conveying what I mean because I feel like some of the anxiety I get streaming comes from um the fear I have that I'm going to say something that's going to be interpreted wrong. The sentence they use, is despite losing the first set, she remained sanguine and focused on winning the match. I can see this being used more like when, if you're traveling and you're having a lot of flight issues.
KN Jones 14 has just resubscribed for 10 months. Good morning, Tina. Hope your trip was fun.
Oh,
Happy
it
Saturday.
was. Thank you, Jones. Thank you, KN. I appreciate that. Tried journaling and I hate writing, so it's really hard. That's fair. That's why I have to have like pictures and stuff because like when I start journaling, I always get into the same problem where I like start journaling and then as I'm journaling, I start thinking way faster than I can write, and then it becomes like too hard for me to try and write and keep up with my thoughts, if that makes sense. My problem is I have a fairly varied vocab, but whenever I use big words, people ask for the definition. I mean, that's nice. I to me, if people are asking what the word means, I wouldn't mind because that's how other people learn. I journal in a notebook. I journal in a little notebook. I showed it off on Ray's stream. It's a graph paper notebook. I had a couple made that I'm gonna put on the store. Did you ever take entomology? I didn't, but I probably would love it. I also like the other reason I'm trying to like learn words is I have a lot of like anxiety around language arts, especially writing and English because I had legitimately some really cruel English teachers. My 8th grade and ninth grade English teacher back to back were really mean specifically to me. They both had vendettas against my family, for lack of a better way of putting it. Um, so they were really not kind. So I developed an intense anxiety around like English and writing and stuff, and it's been my least favorite. So that's why I'm trying to do some like writing exercises, some vocab, just to, like rid myself of that. Arturo, hi. Thanks for putting us in game mode. I've talked about this before, and I swear if somebody else told this story, I would be like, doubt. But I swear on Ray and I's relationship, my 8th grade teacher told me that she thought I was so dumb that she could not fathom how I had made it to the 8th grade, and the only conclusion that she could come up with was that people felt so bad for me and liked my mom that they passed me and let me continue school. Like, said that straight to my face. I was like, okay. Mind you, I was like 12. She was quite old. I mean, she was probably like late 50s, but at the time, obviously as a kid, she felt old. Um and I don't know what her problem was. I do kind of have ideas, but like, I don't know, she was just unnecessarily cruel to me. Yeah, she had a lot of issues. Luckily, I had a lot of really great teachers. It's just like I did struggle. Like English was my worst language. Well, like worst subject by far. I always really struggled with writing. As an adult who's been diagnosed and now medicated for ADHD, it makes sense that writing was really hard for me. And even then, the thing that she would constantly get mad at me for is that one, I would turn in papers and like they wanted you to do like a draft and edit, you know, a final draft and like redraft and then edit and then like final draft, like multiple drafts. And I just like could never do that. So I would just write my papers and turn them in, first draft. And so a lot of the times there was a lot of mistakes, obviously. And then similar to like my journaling now, I would start one sentence and then in my mind I would move on to the next one and finish the next one. So like it didn't make sense all the time. And she was like, "You're not even finishing your sentences." And so like in hindsight, it makes sense why I was having that issue, but wasn't diagnosed at the time. And then my ninth grade teacher didn't like me because she had problems with my sister, all inflicted. Like my sister read 3 World War II books and that teacher asked her if she was a Nazi. And my mom got really mad at her. And my sister reported her, so she got in trouble. Um, and then I came along, and if you can believe it, she was not happy. Not to profile, they were both older white women who I think were just like a little out of touch. I think they very much grew up in an era of they were always right and should have respect no matter what, if that makes sense. Yeah, it was in Maine. Oh, she was. That's why she didn't really like me by the time I got there. There was like one time where she I turned in my paper and I didn't write my name on it. My bad. I'll own that. And she gave it to the girl who sat next to me, whose name was Danielle, and she gave me Danielle's paper because Danielle had also not written her name on it. And Danielle was like looking at it and she's like, "Oh wait, this isn't mine." And I was like, "Oh, the one you thought was Danielle's is mine, and mine is Danielle's because we both didn't write our name." And she was like, "Oh, I assumed that one wasn't yours because it had a good grade on it." Like, I was like, also, if I remember correctly, which I'm gonna be honest, I do, it was like an 86. It wasn't even like 100. It was just like a mediocre grade. I'll be honest, I also like that was towards the middle of the year, and by that point, I had reined it in and I wasn't really trying because she was so mean. And I realized like she doesn't like me, so I just need to pass this class, but I'm not gonna put in a bunch of effort because it's not gonna be like reciprocated, if that makes sense. I also did this presentation on Cuba, and the reason I did it on Cuba is my family's Cuban, and a lot of people don't know a lot about Cuba. So I did this like whole presentation on Cuba and Cuban culture and whatnot for like this research project we had to do in that class. And I volunteered to go first because I used to not mind presenting. I still don't really mind presenting. I mean, I stream. I think, you're a little used to talking to people. And like, especially in school, I was fairly confident with learning. So like I was like, I'll go first, whatever. Nobody wanted to go, I'll do it. I'll get it out the way. The only time I wasn't volunteering to go first is if I didn't do it or I wasn't prepared. But I did. I went, I gave my presentation, and then I sat down and she stood up and she's like, "All right, I'm going to use Tina's presentation as an example of what not to do when you give yours." And went over everything I did wrong. I was like, "So probably not going to get a good grade on that, huh?" I did. So, yeah, I have like a lot of like residual anxiety around that. Yeah, sometimes I look up prompts. I also like I try and get into like a pattern when I'm journaling because it helps to have a starting point. So I try and like sum up the day, or like I'll be like, okay, right now and then I'll just write like two or three sentences on what I'm doing. And then like I have the word of the day that I add in and then like my thoughts on it. And then sometimes if I want to journal but I can't think of what I would want to say, or I feel like that kind of like writing block, I'll Google like writing prompt, or like Google like what holiday it is, because you know how like every day has some crazy little holiday, and then just like write my thoughts on that. And then normally once I get started it's a lot easier. But I did have some really, really good teachers too. So shout out to the really good teachers. I get a little, yeah, you can activate gay mode or activate bisexual mode. Uh, and it gives me a little aura based on that. So this is my bisexual aura. It'll cue it up too. So we'll go straight into gay mode after this. Yeah, it balances out. But honestly, like overall, my actual in-school experiences were pretty good. So like I won't complain too much. It's just like obviously those are your formative years. So those things do have an impact on you. But for a large majority, my in-school experience was very positive. Much more positive than I think a lot of people have. I did have I had a lot of teachers who very passionate about what they did. They cared a lot. So that makes a world of difference. Yeah. Ooh. Pooba, I love writing a lot of my creative ideas when I have an art block. That's, yeah. I obviously just have a lot of thoughts. Part of being, I guess, ADHD. I have a lot of thoughts a lot of the time. And it can be really easy for me to get stuck on a couple of them, or just like ruminate on things over and over and over and over. And I found that having a journal and being able to write those out really help. Or if I have like a lot of feelings about something, it can be really hard to kind of like manage all that. I feel like I feel feelings very deeply. So if I'm feeling a lot of them, I kind of feel like I'm all over the place. And writing them down and being able to just like express it out on paper kind of helps empty that from like my mind and heart. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I want to do something fun. People could use their redeem points. I have other stuff I'm gonna do in the future. Um, but I just was learning how to like auto set up stuff, and I thought that would be a fun one. But I overall, like I said, I'm very pleased with the education I got. I feel very, very lucky that I got to learn from a lot of people who were very passionate about teaching. I just also think journaling can be good if we're getting, I don't know, into mental topics. Journaling can be good for me specifically, speaking from my experience. A lot of the times when I would talk about my feelings, I wasn't talking about them just to like get them out or kind of combat them, but I just was trying to like seek validation. And then if the person I was talking to didn't respond in the way I wanted, it would like make it worse. Where journaling about them is a great way for me to like talk about my feelings or express them without there being a response needed. So it's just me and like that feeling. I'm not also trying to like manage the other person's feelings or the response they're going to give me, if that makes sense. Yeah, I jump from line to line. Like once I really start going, it'll just be like thought to thought to thought, and a lot of them aren't connected blatantly, and it's just like everything that I'm kind of going through my head. But I've journaled on and off like my entire life. Um I remember you reading one that was really deep and then quickly I had Chipotle for lunch today. Yeah. It's definitely like a pinball machine in my head. All right, Nero, have a good one. Thank you for lurking. Yeah, I like journal just for me, and I do sometimes go back and read journals. I also like journaling when I really don't have the like time, energy, or whatever stopping me from vlogging. I like journaling because I love going back and like reliving things or just having like reference for things. So I do try and at least if something like big's happening that I know I'm gonna want to look back on, I'll try and journal through it. Like the reason I started journaling again is because I knew we were gonna go to Seattle and start looking at houses, and I want to in the future be able to reflect on that and like have something to go back to about like us Seattle house hunting. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start journaling again so that I can like write because while I'll probably remember a good portion of it, there'll definitely be like little things I forgot. Uh-oh. Someone from Cleveland, Ohio is trying to call me. Leave a message. Yeah, I think a lot of people have a similar issue, Avatar, where they feel like they're too self-aware or they're intellectualizing their feelings rather than feeling them. One of my like biggest pet peeves lately, and if this is you, like please know this isn't a personal attack or anything, it's just the overarching idea. Um is I've seen a lot of people, especially in my generation, sort of dismiss the idea of therapy because they feel like they're so self-aware that they don't need it and that they have access enough to like different resources or they've been exposed to things via like TikTok especially that makes them feel like they can self-diagnose and self-treat. And I've seen people be like, "Oh, I don't need to go to therapy because I know what I'm doing wrong and I know what I need to do to fix it. I just don't do it." And it's like, "Okay, well, that's why you need therapy because you're not doing it." And if you have a therapist or a counselor that you go to and you're saying, "Here's the problem. I know this is what's wrong. I know this is what I need to do." And all they're saying is like, "Yeah, that's not a good therapist. You probably need to find somebody else." Like being aware is only part of it. And I love that like we have way more resources and mental health's talked about more so that people can kind of resonate with things more, but like being aware doesn't fix the problem. Like, that's not all it is. And if that's all you're getting from somebody, that's probably not the right fix for you. Like, I feel bad for people who think like, oh, therapy's like not useful for me because I already know the problem. It's like, okay, well, unless like you've solved the problem, therapy might be for you, because the fact that it's a problem, the fact it became a problem is probably more what you need to work on. Yeah. Yeah, I think even the most self-aware person still needs validation and still needs guidance from time to time. I'm such a proponent of everybody can benefit from therapy. I I think it's got positives for everyone, truly. Hi TM30, how are you? I'm glad my therapist taught me how to deal rather than just turn into monthly bitch sessions. Sometimes you need that though. There's times where I come in where I'm like, I just need to complain. I just need to get this out. This is not going to have any. We're not making progress today. None of this is going to be productive, but it is going to feel good. And sometimes you just need that. Sometimes you just need to let it out. Ooh, what are you playing? What do you what game you loading up on your chill game day? It can be. I mean, I definitely think like there's so many different types of therapy these days, and it can definitely be hard. In my personal experience, if you're not seeing any progress after like 6 sessions, probably time to look for something new. Which can be really upsetting and really daunting, and very annoying. But it's to me that's been kind of my nothing's really been productive over the last 6 weeks. Something needs to change. Ooh, City Skylines. What a great game. I went through a period when the first City Skylines came out where I was super into it. I love simulation games, which I'm sure some of y'all are very familiar with. Doug, thank you. How are you? Let me see. Oh, guys, last night I really didn't want to make dinner and I did, and I'm so proud of myself, if I'm being honest. I'm trying really hard to cook dinner every night. I'm trying to cook dinner every night for Ray and I until our anniversary next Sunday. But like honestly, picking dinners every night is like so annoying. Yeah, I actually don't even know if I've played City Skylines 2. I think I only played the first one. You know what? Should we make a grocery list right now? I know that might not be fun for y'all, but we can talk about food. Let me see. Okay. Um, the 3 dinners that we have planned, I normally can only plan like 3 or 4 dinners ahead of time. Otherwise, then I just like won't do them, if that makes sense, because I don't know what I'm gonna want in 5 days. Is we're going to do Ray wants chicken patties one night, super easy. And then we're also gonna do chicken and rice. That's a staple for us. And then I'm also gonna do enchiladas this month. Well, this week. I just have to decide. I think Ray wanted beef enchiladas, which is normally I do chicken, but he eats beef now, so maybe I will do a little beef enchilada. LC, welcome. I feel like this is going to sound like such an excuse, but it's so easy for my brain to like get overwhelmed, if you will. So if I try and plan out too many dinners in a row, then all of those dinners become too cumbersome. Like if I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make these 3 dinners the next 3 nights, it's sort of like, okay, I can handle that. I'm gonna make chicken patties tonight. I'll have to like, warm up the patties, toast the buns, make some fries, blah blah blah. Chicken and rice, I'll have to like cook the chicken, make the rice, season everything. Enchiladas, I'll have to cook the beef, roll the enchiladas, put the sauce in, bake it. And it's like, I think about every process. And then if I have like 7 of those meals in my head, it's like, okay, I'm gonna have to do all of that. And that becomes too overwhelming. And then I get like paralysis for it. So it's so much easier for me to just be like, okay, we're gonna make these 3 meals. I can manage that. I can manage the load of all 3 of them. And we'll stick to it. But it's like if I overload my system too much, it's just then none of it happens. It's like it crashes and I can't do any of it. Yeah, I try to grocery shop like twice a week. Fish and chips for dinner. Ooh. I'll also generally when I'm shopping, I'll buy like things like ingredients for things that I know we eat a lot, like pastas or like extra chicken. That way I can also try and just like throw together a meal from the stuff we have for like the 4th day. It's like, okay, what do I have? What can I make? Or I'll keep like some quick ready-made meals kind of in our freezer. I do that a lot with like fried rice. That way it's like, okay, we don't really have a plan for tonight and I just need something. I'll just fry up this rice. I also like twice a week because I can get like produce more. Because I know like, all right, I got to use it in the next like couple days, and if I don't, then I need to plan to use it on the second half of the week. If that makes sense. That's fair. I'm like dreading the fact that I waited to go. Normally, I try and go to the grocery store on like Mondays and Thursdays because it's less busy, but I pushed it to Saturday today, so I'm gonna have to brave the crowds today. Also, yeah, that's the other thing, like, about, like, overloading my mind. I feel like that sounds so silly, but it's just, like, something I've accepted, and I work, like, in that framework of, if I try and plan out 7 days, and I have to it's like, I think about going to the grocery store and having to grab all of those items, it becomes, like, so overwhelming. And it feels like the task is so much bigger. Like it inflates the task in my mind. And then I'm like, oh my God, it's going to take forever. I don't want to do it. And it makes it so much harder. Where it's like, okay, I just have to go get these things. And I can keep all of that in my mind at once. And it feels a lot easier. So it works so much better for me. Honestly, it's most of this too is like for Ray because lately all I've been eating is instant ramen. Literally every night I just boil my little pot of water, put my noodles in, and we're good to go. Oh yeah, I've done pickup too as well. I do love all the options we have for like groceries. Like you can go in, you got the drive ups, you have Instacart. Like it is nice. I can't meal prep and make the same thing and like heat it up and eat it every night, which sounds so silly, but I could cook myself the same thing every night. But if it's like leftovers, like if I meal prep the same meal, it truly is. People don't realize like when you make things accessible, you make it better for everyone. I would venture there are very few things that are done for accessibility that don't help everybody on the whole. Like there are instinctively going to be some um and people will love to find like the one little loophole to something you're saying, but in general, making things more accessible just helps everybody. Yeah, ramps are like a game changer, truly. The only time I think it would be different, if I'm being honest, is when accessibility is counterintuitive or counter reacts like um efficiency, because sometimes the accessible option is not efficient, and for some things, if it's able to be efficient, that's great. But even then, for the most part, yeah, I would say 45 minutes for a dinner is like pretty good too, unless it's like an event, like a holiday or birthday or something. I can't I can't really work do more than 45 minutes. I just am like, if it's gonna take that long, generally by the end of it, then I don't want to like do it. Also, meals that take that long, yeah, generally generate so many dishes. It's like I just don't want to do that. I do a lot of like one pan stuff too. Oh, guys, I just realized. When is this? 1, 2, 3. In like 3.5 weeks, the new Hunger Games book comes out. Sunrise on the Reaping. I'm so excited. I think it's really good. The Hunger Games series. The books are really good. I think the movies are good too for like a book movie. But yeah, the books are, not to be cliche, the books are so much better. I do that all the time, Otter. No worries. There was like another book coming out that I was really excited about, but I can't remember what it is. But I'm pretty sure I pre-ordered it, so it'll probably just show up at some point, you know? Hmm. I don't even remember why I read the first Hunger Games. Probably because I was like, I'd read Twilight and stuff, and I was like, sure. Yeah, she did the prequel, which is the movie that just came out. Some people did not like the prequel book. I loved it. It's called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I thought it was so good. It takes place during the 10th annual Hunger Games. And I thought it was so good. I like read it, and then I was so disappointed because I like went online to like talk about it. Like I was like looked up what people thought about it, and people were talking about how they didn't like it, and I was like, um, did we read a different book? I thought it was really good. I think some people, yeah, I thought the movie was like okay, but the book was so good. I generally feel like the movie could have been two parts, honestly. The prequel is about the 10th Hunger Games when Cornelius Snow, he's 18 in the book, and it's about like him. It's really good. I feel like it added so much to the universe as well. And I liked the characters. I like how everything was portrayed. Some people didn't like that it was about Snow because they're like, if you've read the original ones, how are you supposed to like him or sympathize with him at all? And I'm like, well, that's the whole point. Like, he's a person. Yeah, I feel like it should have been. I feel like they didn't want to do that because, like, that was such a, like, Harry Potter, Twilight, even they did it for the original Hunger Games, like, splitting the book into two. But the timelines and everything with how that book was definitely should have been two movies. It could have been so good. The, like, final third act should have been its own movie. I feel like they had to rush through things so you don't really get, like, the deep connection you get in the book. Yeah. I also think with something like that, where it's showing this, like, dystopian world, it's so interesting and smart to have a book that shows, like, how things devolved even to what they are, if that makes sense. Yeah. But I did like the movie. I thought the movie was good too. Like, as a movie overall, I thought it was cool. I really like Rachel Zegler. I think she's a great actress, singer. And then the guy, Tom Blythe, when he's Snow, young Snow, and he has like a shaved head, it's like a buzz cut. It's not a shave, it's a buzz cut. Insanely attractive. Fairly so, if you will. I'm like, all right. Okay, okay. Even his like fluffy hair, he just looks like too young when he's like young Snow, but as like he gets older and he's got his little like bleach buzz cut. It's like, okay. All right, Thomas. I don't even know if his full name's Thomas, I assume. Maybe it's not, though. People do that all the time. Ray's just Ray, not Raymond. Oh, no, looks like it's just Tom. I just Googled it. Oh, he's my age. Oh, he just had a birthday. Happy birthday. All right, enjoy your fish and chips. Not my type, but I understand the vibe. Yeah. It's a vibe. As strongly attracted to women as I am, men do be holding down the bisexual side. Unfortunately. I'm firmly in the center of that Venn diagram. That's like whenever I see like any type of bi erasure that's like, oh, bisexual women are just lesbians who haven't realized yet or whatever. Not me, honey. We have the I am firmly in both camps. Like I do think women are more aesthetically pleasing, and then that kind of just goes to like, is that just society? Am I just like, buying into that? But strong attraction to men and women for me both. Any words of wisdom for today? Ooh, I don't think so. Sometimes I get scared to share words of wisdom because I feel like I struggle to illustrate my point sometimes without feeling like I'm preaching or asserting my view too much, if that makes sense. Ooh, Avatar, thank you for the aura. I think one of the things that being online for so long has taught me is that people won't give you the benefit of the doubt. Which is why I think so many people have to like qualify things so much, which I'm not a huge fan of. Um, and so, and people will often take whatever you say in like the least generous way. And I always try and do things the opposite way, so it's very frustrating. I am so excited for everybody who like congratulated Ray on getting sponsored for Yakuza. Like I was so happy that worked out for him. Hi Wild Heart, welcome. A lot of people were like, "Let's go. Congrats on the sponsorship." Yeah. They wanted him to do some others like show some stuff on stream that I felt like wouldn't serve the audience well because his audience is so familiar with it. So I actually like kind of pushed back on some of the things they asked. And I was like, "Hey, Ray and I were talking about it and we're like, "Hey, I actually don't think we should do this. I think it's going to create a worse product for both the viewers and y'all." And they were very nice and they were like, okay, if you think it's best for your audience, then like do what you think is best. They just wanted to like show like some trailers and stuff or like it was written very much like if you and or your audience are not familiar with Yakuza, and it's like his audience is and Ray is. So I feel like people would be like it would one come across as like too sponsored because it would clearly it wouldn't make sense for Ray to do because he already knows the Yakuza world. And then two, I feel like a lot of people who were there to watch it like want to get into the game and they're already excited and like if they have to wait even like, 15, 20 minutes to do other stuff, it's going to be like, yeah, I know like I'm checked out. This is boring. Like I feel like people were like tuned in ready to watch him play and to delay that any would just be worse for everyone. So, I'm very happy that we were able to kind of do what was best for everyone. Like, at the end of the day, they were sponsoring him and paying him for his time. So if they really wanted to be like, you need to do this, 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 and this, and like really rigid about it, like, okay, if that's what you want, sure. But like, as the creator and person who knows my audience, I think we can put together something better that would get more people interested. Like, I think a lot of people who were watching Ray today and even yesterday, they weren't like, ooh, I don't know what Yakuza is. Let me check it out. It's like, oh, I'm already interested. I want to make sure this is worth it. And I want to know if Ray likes the game. And he can't answer that until he gets into it. Yeah, the really great thing about Ray not doing a lot of sponsorships, or really only taking sponsorships that are like things he was kind of already planning on doing or work really well, is that like we can push back on stuff like that, because worst case, they cancel it. Worst case, they say, you know what? We're pulling out. We're not going to do this. Fine. Like, it sucks, but sure. Best case, we get to put out a good sponsored stream and Ray gets extra money for it, you know? It, very lucky position there. I was doing the numbers the other night on like what you need. What I would say you need to be like comfortable as a full-time content creator. And it's actually kind of insane. And when I think about it, I do think it's like so easy to see why people try and take every sponsorship that they can, just to like try and make money, to make like ends meet. Like, I'll never say content creation's a quote hard job, especially in comparison to like what, you know, a lot of jobs most people have. I do think it is extremely difficult to make like a secure amount of money from it. Like, it's very difficult. It's to me, being a content creator and being an actor are like the same thing. Like, it is very hard to be a working actor and that's supporting you full time and will support you forever. But people for some reason don't equate those two, and to me they're so similar. Is it more just hard to get established? Not even just that, because I think there are some people who are established that still very struggle. I think you have to be constantly on it, which is hard. I think a great example of this is Ray kind of touched on this on his stream. Twitch announcing that you can only have 100 hours of highlighted content on their website, and people really struggling with that. My feelings aside, because I'm actually quite on Twitch's side on this, things like that are always going to happen when you're doing like content where there's kind of these shifts, and some people will sort of just freeze at that opposition, I guess. When reality is you just have to adapt. Like, even if you haven't been uploading anything anywhere else, which I already on another level would say that was a silly thing to do, but sure. Say all your content's on Twitch. You now have two options. Everybody has two options. You can move all your stuff to YouTube and you can start, or you can just be like, well, I'm not gonna have highlighted shit anymore, I guess, because Twitch took it away. And there are plenty of people who are gonna take that route where it's like, well, Twitch took this away, so I'm not gonna find an alternative. And That is not the best path forward, if that makes sense. Like, will that work for some people? Sure. A lot of people's VOD content wasn't helping them in any way anyway, so losing it is not going to be detrimental. But probably should put it somewhere else. Also, I get people want their VODs. I guess I don't. I can say like I understand the thought process of wanting your VODs on Twitch. I don't know why you would want it. Like, I understand that it's common that a lot of people do that, but I don't get it. I don't understand why. People aren't watching them. You don't really make money. Like, I truly don't understand it. I just, like, in my experience, I don't know anybody who regularly watches VOD content. Sure, maybe some. Like, if there's a big stream, or certain channels like AGDQ might, you know? See, yeah, I think convenience and not wanting to do the extra work is the main thing. And it's sort of like, at the end of the day, like, sorry, the most convenient option for you doesn't mean shit. Just because it's the most convenient option, that's not a good argument. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, it's easier for me. Okay. So? Yeah, like, um, truly, Twitch is not a VOD platform. And I feel like the reason I felt like the reaction was so wild is because I feel like it's so clearly not a VOD platform. Like, they don't care about it. They never have. They never will. Their player for VODs is bad. They don't push VODs at all. That, like, everything about the site is very clearly meant for live content. It's not at all meant for VOD content. I think the only similar thing is, like, they push clips, but clips don't even count in your thing. They're not changing clips. You have 1,010,000 clips. They don't care. It's like the highlighting part, which, like, nobody used anyway. And I do think in the long run, having the highlight feature work as intended and not as it's being used will be a net positive. Because if I go to any channel and I check their highlights, a lot of it is they've just highlighted all of their VODs, and that tells me nothing. I'm not going to check out that content. I'm not going to sit there and watch an unedited VOD for somebody I don't know. But if I knew, if I go to a Twitch profile and the content on there is curated, it's like, okay, so you're telling me this is like the best you have to offer. So let me see if I vibe with this. That would actually help so much more. But you can't even tell people, like, oh, if you see a streamer you might like, go check out their highlights, because most people's highlights are just their full streams. Hi, Mouse. And, like, OBS does have a feature to locally record as you're streaming. So you can just locally record it if you don't want to dual stream it to, like, YouTube or something. Yeah, like, highlights are not used well anyway. Like, that's why nobody's watching them. That's the thing. People are like, oh, I'm losing all this. And it's like, it wasn't doing anything for you. And I do think there's, like, this weird internet thing about, like, preserving all content. And I'm going to be so real. You don't have to. Not all content needs to be forever on the internet. In fact, we probably should have less content be forever on the internet. like, truly, not all your content is that good that it needs to be around forever. I went and checked mine. I have like, what do I have? 37 hours, and all of my videos that I have highlighted are like from 2015. And I think these are all ones that like I couldn't save for whatever reason. So I just highlighted them to go back, and I never did. Oh, wait, hold on. I need highlights. I'm like, why is it doing this? Oh, you use Linux? That's fair. Yeah, it's a little harder if you're not using like Windows for anything. Let's see. I'm going to tell you guys right now what I have under my highlights. Oh, I think this is the first time I played Stardew. Let me see if I can pull this up. All of my highlights are unpublished. Okay. Is this? Okay, you guys can't hear this anyway. Yeah, this is the first time I played Stardew. I don't even know. I might download that just to have it. I think I do, but I don't know why I highlighted that. Let's see. Oh, it's just okay. This is the first. Okay, I guess I highlighted my first Stardew stream, my second and third Stardew stream, and then my 12th Stardew stream. How hard is it to save clips and upload them to YouTube, TikTok, like Glasses does for Ray? Depends. So downloading clips is super easy, especially if it's your account. You could just hit download. Like, that's super easy. Elise edits them, so that takes some time. I don't know why I chose 12. Let me click on it. Let me see what's going on here. Hmm. I don't know. I guess I just wanted this part. Yeah, I don't know why I highlighted that. Maybe like I was trying to record it and like my computer was having issues, so I just had to highlight them. That seems most logical. Oh yeah, Glasses' name is Elise. I go back and forth. Wild Heart, yay! I'm so happy I got there. I was like a little worried, but I'm like, I'm gonna believe. I'm gonna believe in the power of Taylor that it'll get delivered. And then I have some of my 24-hour stream highlighted that I did in May of 2015. I have an old color corner, which I used to do, where I would color on Sundays highlighted. I have just like random fucking streams. I like don't know why these were highlighted. They're like really random days too, so it must have just been like I forgot to record them and I was going to come back and download them and I just never did. Oh, this is when I made a cake on stream. That one I think I actually chose to highlight and was going to leave on my channel. But most of them are like fine. I mean, I only have like 15. There's not even a ton. Oh yeah, this is when I made my rainbow cake on stream. I was actually so happy with how this little cake came out. I think I was only streaming in 720 at the time, which is so funny. Oh, yeah. I do kind of hope when we find a new place, it's like set up so that I can like do cooking streams. Our current like house isn't laid out well for it, but I'm hoping if we if we find a good place, it has like a layout where I can like stream from the kitchen. Guys, I'm doing it. I'm checking to see if there's any new houses in Seattle. Probably not, but who knows? You know what? I actually didn't check the weekend adding. Why is this like not logging in? Hello? Okay. I'll keep this here. Oh, I got it. Sorry, I got a store message. Could we buy a lot and build a house? Could we? Sure. Are we going to? No. Nah, East Seattle being like Bellevue area, if you mean. We want to be more towards Seattle proper than on the east side of the lake, if that's what you mean. Yeah, we'd have to be further out if we want to like buy a lot, unless we want to spend a ton of money, which we don't. Sometimes I get really like cagey about money. I know that's not. I know that's a very common thing, but it's very. I go back and forth on what I feel is right to share versus what like won't be received well versus what should just be private info anyway. Like I feel like Ray and I are pretty upfront about like our income and stuff. But I do think like sometimes it can be communicated poorly. I'm looking at all the houses. Yeah, the trip was great. I mean, I don't mind saying that we are very aware that we might end up spending over $1 million on a house, which is an insane amount of money. I mean, obviously we're extremely lucky with how generous Ray's community is. We're pretty frugal, all things considered. Like, could we probably cut back in some areas? Absolutely. I could cook way more. We could order Uber Eats less. But in a lot of like the expensive areas of life, we're pretty frugal. I like being in Seattle proper a lot, but all my friends are on the east side and I struggled a lot trying to go see them. That's fair. Yeah, we have friends that are kind of like on the east part, but I know they won't mind coming to visit as much, and I don't mind driving, so I'll go see them. But yeah, I mean, the areas we're kind of more interested in are like uh north of SeaTac, south of Northgate, everything in between there, which is like all of Seattle proper, if you will. But we want to be like on the Seattle side of Lake Washington. Oh, when we go to Seattle, we don't stay in Seattle proper. We normally stay in like Renton. I quite like Renton, but Renton doesn't have any fiber options. Otherwise, we would really be considering Renton. But yeah, I quite like the Renton, like, Tukwila area. Let's look at this house. But we, oh, this house is actually pretty nice. Backyard? Oh, a little backyard. We could put some grass in. Oh, it kind of looks like you're... Oh, there might be a parking spot there. I don't know. But, I mean, we've lived in our current house a long time, so there's no rush to get out. We want our next house to be a place we're going to live in for like the next 15 years. So, ooh, treat for Charlie and Riley. Right before I started stream, I was like, I'm going to go stream. Maybe people will redeem some treats for you ladies. What's the best way to search for fiber options? So there's this, you can use the FCC broadband map. I'll put the link in chat. And you can like enter in an address and it'll show you what's registered to that address. And some cheese. They're going to have a good night. Y'all are spoiling them. You can put in an address and it'll show you kind of what's like for that specific address. And if I'm looking and like an area, I'll like put in an address and I'll click around that neighborhood to see what's common to all the houses. And that can give you a really good idea on what's available. Oh, this house is 1,600 square feet. It's going to be tiny. That makes sense. Has a basement though. 1,600 square feet's not like tiny, but it is compared to our current home. $1,600 square feet for two of us to work from home with like Ray's full office and the store is small. Is the thing. We saw a lot of houses we liked. We didn't find any houses we wanted to buy. We definitely could have settled for one or two, but like there's no point and I don't want to have buyer's remorse. Ideally, our next place will be like 22 to 2,800 square feet. Especially for like a single family home. Under 2,000 with both of us trying to do our work from home and the dogs just probably isn't going to work. Where is this house? This... There's no point in settling because, yeah, like, we love our current house. Like, I want to just buy something because I want to, like, move up there, but that's, like, short-sighted. Do you know what I mean? Fuck. See, like, this house I'm looking at, I just put into the FCC, and, like, the fastest internet they have is only 35 up. Haley, I'm kind of looking remotely. If there's something I love, the realtor and or Maddie can go check it out. And if they are like, yeah, you might want to consider that, then I can fly up. The plan is keep an eye on everything that comes up. If we find something we love, I can fly up and see it. And then if I'm like, yeah, I really like this, I think we consider it, then Ray can take time off to come. But Ray and I probably won't take time off together to go up until like March, April. Just like with timelines and stuff. That's the thing that, like, I really want to move and I can't wait to move, and we will because I'll find something that's perfect. But there are a lot of houses in Seattle that just do not have the internet that we need. And, like, we can't compromise on that. Oh, this is cute. Let's check this one. Like, I can't. We can't change that. Okay, this one has a fiber option. Oh, interesting. And it's so hard to find, like, what the fiber plans are, like, in Seattle. So I don't know if, like, they're going to be expanding because, like, yeah, same, Marine Otter, me too. Um, I told Ray, like, I'm going to do more research on it, but I would hate for us to buy something and then they'd be like, oh, next year, all of these areas that previously didn't have fiber are going to have fiber. And then we're like, cool, we would have been so much happier there, you know? Okay, this is like a cute house. And it's under $1 million. And it's got a basement. Is the basement just one big room? Maybe? Oh no. Alright, I'll keep an eye on this. This was just added, so I have to keep an eye on it because there's a chance it'll be, like, sold tomorrow. And, like, obviously if it's gonna go that quick, there's no way I'm gonna get there in time. But it's fine. Like, I know the right house is out there. It just has timing and everything has to line up perfectly, which will be a little harder. But, like, we'll figure it out. I'm not worried. Yeah, Quantum seems to be the most widely available fiber option. Um, and then I've seen, like, a couple other ones. But Quantum seems to be the biggest. The only problem with Quantum is I've heard that their customer service is really bad and you'll be on hold for like an hour to 2 hours every time you call. Which sucks. And when we're looking at new builds, it's a lot harder to see what will actually be available because they're not, like, in the FCC system. Oh, this house is like Maddie green. Maddie loves green. Oh, this could be a cute option. Do you share a backyard? No, this is your back. Is that a pocket door? It is. Yeah, I think a lot of companies are terrible on the phone, but the problem is because like a new build won't be in their system because the address is too new, you'd have to call to verify that we could get internet there. And so it's like if I found a house I'm interested in, I'm gonna have to sit on the phone for an hour and a half to 2 hours waiting to talk to them just to verify if we could get the internet. So it's like, oh, it just, like, complicates it, you know? Why am I getting so many phone calls today? I'm popular. They're all this, like, loan scam thing that, like, I continuously get voicemails for. But, you know. Let's look at this cute house. I can't show you guys in case any of these actually end up being interesting for us, you know? Don't want to pre-dox us. Oh, okay. Where is this? I'm so bad at like knowing the Seattle areas too. Also, Seattle, I've noticed it's really interesting. They have numbered streets a lot. Oh, this one's a little far north. We might have to start looking up north, and I don't want to. I'd rather be more south, but there are a lot of good options up north, realistically. There's like, you know, First Ave or whatever, like 116th Street, 100 and like 15th Ave, like a lot of numbered streets, and then there's like south and north. So like the address could be very similar, but in a completely different part of the city. So I always have to like look on a map specifically where it's at because I never know. Yeah, I think that naming scheme of like streets and Ave can be really good. Like I understand the concept, but I feel like it just gets fucked up too quickly when people are like, when cities are growing.
Welcome, Raiders.
A raid. Hello. Welcome. How are y'all? We are just yapping. We are just having a little chit chat about, right now we're talking about Seattle and houses in Seattle because my husband and I are trying to move there. But welcome to my Saturday morning streams. I just sit and I talk with everyone. Thank you for the raid. What were you guys playing? Oh my god, everybody has those cute little share the love icons. I love them. Oh, the new Yakuza. I hope you're enjoying it. Ray said it's really good. If Yakuza wasn't his mistress, maybe I'd like it more. Aw, thank you. You're in love with Majima? Yeah, I was so happy that he was enjoying it. Obviously, whenever a new game in a franchise comes out that, like, he loves, I'm like, ah. Oh, we looked at a house in Queen Anne. It ended up not being for us. The layout and everything just wouldn't work. There was no good space for Ray's office. But we looked at a really nice one. I'm pretty sure it was in Queen Anne. It was near... Hold on, I can tell you. I'm convinced I can fix him. Me with like every man ever. Let me look at... Hello? Oh, I thought my keyboard died for a second. Queen Anne's over this area, right? It was, maybe it wasn't Queen Anne. Maybe it was. Is there like a college or a university over in Queen Anne? Oh, it was near Seattle Pacific University was the one we looked at because I accidentally drove through their campus because I made the wrong turn. It was near there. Yeah, the hills were a lot, and I do know, like, if it's icy or whatever, that would have been rough. But yeah, I was on one of the numbered streets, so I can't tell you anything more than that. My favorite parts of Seattle, not necessarily where we want to live. I love Finney Ridge. I think Finney Ridge is really pretty. I love West Seattle. I mentioned earlier that I really like Renton and Tukwila. I also do like Seaward Park. We did look at we looked at 2 houses in Seaward Park. One of them was like super expensive. All the houses in Seaward Park are super fucking expensive, so I can't see us actually ending up there. But they were beautiful, and the views of Lake Washington were insane. Hi, Appa. It's I am excited that Seattle does use like the neighborhood names, because I feel like once I know them, it'll be so much easier to like talk with people about things. Like in Austin, we don't really have neighborhood names. There's like some, I guess. But really, like, everybody just says like the direction you live in. Like if you're in North Austin or South Austin or like East Austin or like a city outside of Austin, then you might like Cedar Park or Round Rock or Pflugerville. Um, but there's not like neighborhoods really. There are kind of close to downtown, but like it's all downtown ones. My Saturday is going great, LJ. How's yours? Guys, this is like honestly doing these little streams where I just talk with people puts me in such a good mood. It just like fills my little extrovert battery up. And then I'm like, okay, I yapped. I can get some stuff done now. Like, I just love hearing about like what people are doing and like engaging in conversation with people. That's also why I love being in Seattle. I get to be like around people. Like every day we were there, I saw Maddie and Eno. One day I didn't see Eno, but every other day. Oh, we went to this really good pizza place over by the university. And they honestly, they had the best chicken wings. I was like, this is insane. It was oh my god, what's it called? It was called like Elemental Pizza or something like that, I think. It was like, fuck, I'm trying to look it up. Okay, hold on. I think it's up here. Oh, it's going to be over here. Elemental Pizza. Yeah, I was right. They had like, I think it was mango habanero wings. And the wings were like so juicy. Very good. I was shocked by how good they were. I'm trying to see if it's on their menu, but I'm not seeing it. Oh, wait, hold on. No. Soups, apps. No, it's not online, but they had it on their menu there. It was so good. And then we got pizza, and we got pizzas from them. It was good. I liked it. It's like over in the like university shopping area that has like, there's like a Din Tai Fung there. There's a Shake Shack. Yeah, I love Indian food. I love curry. I love Indian curry. I love Thai curry. Just a big curry fan. My favorite Seattle place is a place called Dough Zone. It's like a chain. I think I'm gonna look it up. I don't think I think they're like opening other places now. Okay, they have some in Washington, obviously. They have some in Oregon, okay, and then San Jose. Let's go, in California. And they have some in Houston now. DeWatt Indian Grill and Bar. Okay, I'll have to look that up. I'll put that on a list of places to go next time. Oh, I know where this is. I know this area. If it's right near the convention center, very familiar, because that's used to be the only part of Seattle we saw. Do you like hot, 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 or hot, hot, hot? It depends, but I'm normally like a too hot max. Dozone has like these like it has their little, I don't know. Oh my god, excuse me. I'm burping up a storm here. They have their little like cucumber salad, and it's so good. Their sweet and sour cucumbers are so good. I would, as much as I love dumplings, and dumplings like rank very high for me, sweet and sour cucumbers, and then they have a like beef noodle bowl, beef stew noodles. I could eat beef stew noodles and sweet and sour cucumbers from Dozone every day. It's so good. Honestly, I think every noodles I've had from there are really good, but that's my fave. We went once while we were there, and I was like, I will eat this for every meal. I will live here. I can't even remember where else we ate. We went to Little Woody's. Little Woody's is good. If you've been to Austin, Little Woody's is like Seattle's P. Terry's. I really want to go up the Space Needle. Oh, we went to Matador. I love Matador. I love cucumbers. Wasn't there like a cucumber recall recently? Wasn't there like an issue with cucumbers? Multiple recalls of cucumbers due to salmonella. Yeah, that's what I thought. But I love cucumbers. I'd risk it. Whatever. Matador's steak sandwich is so good. I recalled them like Kirby. I know they're like technically like a Spanish food, but I feel like their steak sandwich is so good. I have like a simple cucumber salad with like soy sauce and vinegar that I make. It's so good. Cucumbers just like, if they're good, they have the right amount of crunch, you know? I pulled it up. I get the carne asada sandwich, which is grilled marinated steak. And I'm going to be honest, they cook the steak perfectly. I mean, it's insane how good the steak is there. With French fried onions, a slaw, roasted poblano, pico, and a chimichurri mayo. And it's on like a little ciabatta bun. It's real good. That's my favorite. We go there and see Gail. And Gail loves the enchilada soup. I think it's the enchilada. No, I'm sorry. I lied. It's the tortilla chicken soup is what she gets. Ray gets the quesadillas almost every Spanish place we go. Cucumbers are native to like Asia. I think like China, India, Thailand. I don't know if they're native to America.
Kaibean has just subscribed.
Kai, thank you. Welcome. Enjoy your emotes. hope you like them. I'm very happy with the emotes we have. Oh, I just remembered I got a new razor. That makes me so excited. I feel like that probably sounds silly, but I am very excited for that. I've been meaning to get a new razor for so long. And I finally did it. My nose itches. True. Nothing beats getting into like a freshly made bed after you've done like a full shower. Lately I've been trying, I'm so bad with sleep health. Like, what's that called? Don't they, sleep hygiene? Is that what they call it? Yeah. Your practices that promote quality sleep. I'm so bad with stuff um that help you sleep, and I'm trying so hard to be better at it. And so like my main thing is I'm trying to really allow myself at least 7 hours of sleep a night, which is like not a ton, but it's like the minimum, right? So I'm trying really hard to at least sleep 7 hours a night. And so like even if that means I have to sleep late, fine. Let myself and not feel guilty about it. And then I'm trying to like turn off all big lights around like midnight so that there's no big overhead light. It's just like chill, low-key lamps. And then the other thing I'm trying, which I've heard this is like ideal, like what you should be doing, is I used to like get into bed and I would like watch TV or be on my phone until I went to bed. And now I'm trying to like stay in the living room until I am ready to go to sleep. And then when I get in bed, I'm not on my phone at all. I'm not doing anything in bed except sleeping. And apparently that's supposed to help. So I almost hit my target last night. I got 6 hours and 50 minutes. Which was so close. But I had to get up to stream. I'm like, I pushed it as far as I could. I got out of bed at like 11:40. Yeah, it's supposed to be good for your brain to know, like, okay, when I lay down and I'm in bed, that's when I'm going to sleep, and it can help you, like, fall asleep faster and stay asleep. So, yeah, I like to do these little chatty streams on Saturdays. Saturday mornings, morning quote, at noon is when I start these. And then most of my other streams start around like 3 or 4 p.m. Central. I kind of want to start moving these. Like, I'm trying to move these early and early. I say Saturday morning because eventually I would like for these to start at like 10:30 Central. But I have to be realistic. And when I'm going to bed at 3 or 4 a.m., that's just never going to happen. So while we're working on our sleep, they start at noon. I'm just like so bad at going to bed at a reasonable time, but then I also have so much guilt if I sleep in late. So then I feel like I have to wake up and then I'm only getting like 3 or 4 hours of sleep. And then I'm just like run down after like 2 weeks. I did accidentally fall asleep on the couch yesterday, which sucked because I took a late nap. So it kept me up even later. Didn't mean to do that, but I did in fact take a nap at 9 p.m. It's always Riley. Riley's fault. She comes over, she snuggles, and then I'm just like too like snuggled up to get up. My nose itches. Okay. Oh, guys, my VTuber model, my new one that I'm debuting later this year, is coming along great. I'm going to do a full debut. Planting the seeds now. Doing a full debut. Pretty sure the debut is going to be in either September or November. I haven't decided. She's going to have lore. I'm going to have a little merch drop. It's going to be a whole new model, new animations, new everything. I'm so excited. It's like a traditional style model. What else? Who else? Oh. Oh, Nax is doing his tier 2, tier 3 stream. I'm like, why am I getting this notification? I just remembered I have to respond to this. There we go. But I got big plans. Am I a mod in all the Piss Boys chats? I don't think I'm a mod. I might be a VIP. I actually don't know. I'll check right now. I'm a VIP in Matt's. Which is fine, because I don't mod. Honestly, don't give me the power either. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I'm a tier 3 in Nags' chat, so that's why I got his alert. Oh, I'm a VIP in Chibi's. Let me see. Oh, yeah, I'm a VIP. Honestly, good. Don't make me a mod, because I am ruthless. I've been on Twitch too long. I'm jaded, and I will just ban people too easily. Or maybe people just don't ban enough, in my opinion. I don't know. I kind of feel like being in a streaming community is a privilege. And hear me out when I say that. And if you're going to act up in any way, find a different one. Like, I want my stream to be open and, like, everybody to feel welcome. Unless you do something that makes me feel like you shouldn't be here. Then you aren't welcome anymore. You know? Like, yeah, my stream's a safe space if you're a safe person. You know? Yeah, I think it's both ways. I think people see like, oh, streamers need chatters, so they should be thankful for us, so I can do and say whatever I want. And also, people don't know how to act sometimes. Like, people just have low social skills. And like, it's not on me for teach you. And then also, I do think there's a lot of streamers who think, oh, I need to be thankful for every viewer, So I should let this viewer kind of like push my boundaries because I don't want to lose a viewer or a chatter. And it's like, it's not worth it. It's not. You don't need every single viewer and chatter you can get because the longevity of that's just horrendous. And sometimes it's hard because it's not even like people doing like egregious things, like being rude or mean or something. It's just like sometimes the vibe is so off. And it's like that hey, this isn't for you. We're tough life lesson. You shouldn't be here. Oh, I'm gonna be so honest. I literally didn't even know. That's so crazy that you asked that. I didn't know what a tasty cake was until 2 days ago, and I got a TikTok about them. Oh, it wasn't even TikTok. I just completely lied. I just remembered what it was. Ray and I watched the Hot Ones episode with Rob McElhenney, and he talks about tasty cake in it, and I had never heard of them before then. And I don't know if I've really had many, if I'm being honest. Yeah, it is like like I definitely kind of remember seeing these when I lived like in New England, but I definitely don't have a favorite. Yeah, people sometimes don't know how to be a chill viewer is the only way I can put it. It's also wild to me when people get banned and then they like try and come back and they're like, "Oh, can you like unban me and stuff?" And it's like, if you did something for me to ban you, why and I'm making the choice to not have you here. Why do you want to be somewhere where the person's like telling you directly they don't want you there? Like if maybe you said something and you're worried it came off the wrong way, so you're trying to explain it, sure. But like most of the time that's not the case. Do you know what I like? I think bans from misunderstandings are not that popular. Like I think it's very rare when it's like, "Oh, I said this and like it was taken the wrong way." Like it's normally like, "No, I understood what you were trying to say. I got it. I just wasn't on board." I think it depends because Ray's numbers can get into like the 4,000s pretty regularly. And I think his chat's like still fine. But there's some chats where it's like, yeah, a couple thousand people. And it's like, what are we doing? A lot of the time, too, then it's just like group reacting. So it's just, like the same messages over and over and over again, which is fine. But I don't think there's like deep conversation happening. It's so funny because I do feel that way about like chat. But then, like, on the other hand, I was talking to Ray, and this is like tangentially related. I get like too, I don't know what you would call it, invested in like people. How do I put this? I like feel responsible for people in my life that I shouldn't, if that makes sense. Like, oh my god, I have to give notice that we're not renewing the warehouse lease. And it's like totally normal. That happens. People move, things happen, whatever. And like I'm doing it by the lease. I'm giving them plenty of notice. It's fine. But like, I haven't done it because I feel so bad. Because I'm like, what if they can't get somebody to rent our space after we leave? What if they don't have anyone to rent this? And it's like, that's not my problem. I don't owe them anything, you know? Like, I owe them the rent that I signed the lease for, but I don't owe them to so what, I just never leave. I just stay there forever. It's also the same if anybody works for us for any point of time. I get like so scared that eventually like we won't be able to employ them, and then what? Like, I feel like if we hire somebody, I'm committing to paying them for the rest of their life, which also is not feasible. Kevin, I'll put you on the list. That was one of the main reasons I was worried about hiring like Light and Lease is because it's like, well, what are they gonna do in like 15 years when Ray retires? And it's like, well, first of all, their jobs have transferable skills. Two, they might get another job anyway. They might not even stay around that long. I hope they do. I would be so sad if either of them left, but like, that's a possibility. And three, like, I guess if we employ somebody for like 10 years, that's still good. Like, but I just feel like, oh no, what if I can't like keep you employed until you retire? Be stuck with you? Hell yeah, Kevin. Big yawn. I like the face my VTuber makes when I make a big yawn. It's funny. Yeah. And I mean, all things considered, I do feel like Ray and I try and be good employers. And like, even when I let somebody go, we had somebody work for us for 3 months behind the scenes and it just didn't work. Even when I let them go, I still gave them like a month of severance because I felt bad being like, hey, we're not going to keep you on, but I'm going to give you like 2 more paychecks so that you can find something else. And they were only working for us part-time. It wasn't even like a full-time thing. But I like feel bad. My burden to bear, for real. I mean, even as we wind down the store, I told Meg and Alex a year and a half ago that we were going to be like downsizing. And even though I gave them so much time, as we start to like wind down and stuff, I still feel bad. Even though I know like most jobs are not going to give you 18 months of notice. Oh my God, I need to stop yawning. Actually, I need to probably go grocery shopping soon, but I also need to do my laundry today and dishes. Brutal. Like, absolutely brutal day of like tasks. But I need to do my laundry today because it's already starting to get like too overfilled, and if I keep putting it off, then it's too much laundry, you know? I probably will get cucumbers. I just have to get the motivation to drive to the grocery store. I'm sure y'all can relate. Who can relate? I'm trying to decide if I want to get like a new starting soon screen made for my debut. But I don't really use starting soons, but maybe I should do like a 5-minute starting soon thing in the future. How far is the grocery store? It's not far at all. It's just so cold. Like, it's so cold in Austin this week. It's supposed to go back up to 70 on Monday, so we were almost out of the woods. But right now, it feels like 36 out. It's 28 degrees colder than the norm. Like, that shit sucks. It was so so cold yesterday. Yeah, it might be cute for the like debut. Or maybe if I just need like a little starting soon, it's good to have. I might have to look for something cute. Maybe I can do something that I can also like sell as a print. Like get a little print made and then have that animated as the starting soon screen. That could work. Kind of a 2-for-1. Oh, I buy assets on Etsy all the time too. But I kind of really want something custom. Guys, what game should we play? If you're listening to this, what game should I play on stream this month? Like in the next month? I definitely want to go back to Sims Bustin' Out. We need to get another one of those streams in. I want to do more Traveler's Rest. I've been playing offline and I want to update you guys on where I'm at. Oh, I also really want to do a what's it called? Is it Supermarket Simulator? Is that what it's called? Because they updated so much. So I'm like, ooh, a supermarket sim stream could be good. I gotta figure out. I'm so bad at planning, like, oh, actually, a couple people have asked me for collabs. I think I'm supposed to do another web fishing with the same group next week. Let me make sure that's not the same day. No, okay, it is. Yeah, it's next week, but I can do that. And then, oh, I'm doing like a board game stream too with some friends, but I don't think we set a date. March 13th. Okay, that's quite a ways away. I need to write that down so I don't forget. We talked about Ludo. We also talked about maybe trying something like Ticket to Ride or Settlers of Catan with Tabletop Simulator. Haven't decided yet. All right, Kai, have a great one. I'm going to wrap up here in just a few minutes. Sometimes I think about trying to start a long-term playthrough on stream, but then I'm like, I don't know if I'll stick to it, and I don't know if it's annoying for viewers if I start a like game and don't finish it on stream. It's just hard. Oh, I'm gonna do a Dreamlight Valley stream soon because they have an update coming out. That's on the docket. It's like the Aladdin update. I think it comes out next week. I'm trying to see. They're doing like a cooking thing. I don't think it came out already. I think it's next week, right? I don't even know. This little article is acting like it's out, but they might have gotten like a review one. I saved it. Hold on. Oh, February 26th it comes out. What day is that? Oh, that's Wednesday. Maybe I'll stream that on Thursday, the 27th, because that's my stream days. Can I add that to my announcements? Yes, I'm going to edit this. Okay, this is going to be Disney's Dreamlight Valley update. Perfect. Do you guys like how on my schedule I was like, today's just chatting, and then Monday and Thursday are video games? I don't know what games, but they will be video games. If you guys don't know, I post my schedule on Discord. But for the most part, it's Saturdays at noon and then Mondays and Thursdays at 3. So. I just don't want to commit to something and then be like, actually, do not want to play that today. I very much need the vibes, you know? I can't just be like, this is what we're playing next week. The fact that Ray plans out his week and he's like, I'm going to play this and then this and then this. I'm like, I can't think of anything like that. What if I wake up and I don't want to play that day? The answer is you play it anyway because that's the job, you know? But I definitely know there's been days Ray's been like, oh, I don't want to fucking play this shit. He is. Ray's got it, like, Ray's very dedicated and, like, good at the job of streaming. Truly. Redfin keeps sending me, like, homes in areas we're not looking in, and it's like, this home would be perfect for you, and it's, like, in Tacoma, and I'm like, would it? Why the fuck would I move to Tacoma? It's like, no, it's not, Redfin. Stop lying to me. Or it'll be like a really nice house in the middle of the woods in the middle of nowhere, and you're like, okay. This house is over near Maddie. I don't know the next, like, big game I would want to do a full playthrough of that's coming out. I mean, Ray and I are going to do a full playthrough of Split Fiction. For sure. But, like, that's different because that's a co-op game. I'm so excited for that stream. I think that's going to be next week. Is that when that comes out? Or no, the week after. Week after this coming one. Maddie rents, so I couldn't buy her house even if I wanted. But a good thought. A good... Also, Maddie kind of lives out in the middle of nowhere. I don't want to dox her, but she does not live in Seattle proper. She lives in the greater Seattle region. She lives further out than we would probably want to. Where's this house? Oh my God. She's got to live further out because she has a horse. Her horse doesn't live with her, but, like, she lives out. Her horse is way out in the middle of nowhere, and she lives kind of out near there. So, you know. I did get a notification that a house in her neighborhood's for sale. But also, I know her internet in her neighborhood's not what we need. Because I know what she has. But, ooh, Doth, thanks for checking in today. I am going to also plan out when my next card opening stream is going to be. I'm very excited because we have the Pokemon, and not the Pokemon. I mean, we do have Pokemon cards I will be opening. I sounded so old saying the Pokemon there. But we have the Neopet cards, which I'm very excited to open. I love Neopets. I know I said the Pokemon like a boomer. Neopets is 25. That's so crazy. I so wish you could like change your username on Neopets. God, I used to be on this site every day. How insane. Neopets Classic Games. 15 plus games now available in the Classic Game Room. Does it say which ones? Oh, Brucey B slots. Hell yeah. I loved Snow Muncher and Merca Chase. Those were like mine. Oh, God, and I loved the fairies and Neopets. Truly. If I had kids, I'd be like, sit your ass down. You're having tablet time, and it's just Neopets. I want you to have culture, you know? The, like, grass fairy girl. I guess earth fairy. She was my fave. I don't think it has Uno Roblox, unfortunately. Yeah, what a 10 out of 10 content Neopets is. It's a new build. This looks like a new build that looks exactly like our current house. Well, not exactly, but like the finishes are all the same, you know? I also, you know what? I feel like they should implement a thing where every house that you list, like every listing, has to have a floor plan of the house. Why is that not mandatory? I'm not even saying it necessarily needs to have like measurements and everything, but I need to be able to at least see where the rooms connect. Like what is this? Because some houses have crazy layouts and I'm like, what are we doing? You know, good morning. You know, we were talking about Seattle earlier. See, if I lived in Seattle, I could be like, you know, you're up. Good morning. Do you want to go grocery shopping with me? But no, I'm in Texas and it's cold. And I have no friends to invite grocery shopping. That's a lie. I have friends that I could invite grocery shopping, but I think they're all busy. A lot of my friends in Austin also don't work like set hours. So it's harder to know when it's like, oh, when are you free this week? You know, it's not going to be like, okay, you're free on this day, where I know Eno's work schedule for the most part. And I can be like, okay, probably free after this time. Same with Maddie. Maddie has a very rigid work schedule. So I know when she's working versus when she's not. And I'm like, yeah, I know you're free. But good thing about not finding a house, I guess, is that it means we don't have to sell our current one yet. I do be loving our current house. It's very nice. Corporate girlies, they clock in and they clock out. Oh, yesterday was probably like the first day in a while where I was like at work and I feel like I got so much done and it felt like such a productive day. It was great. I love feeling productive. I always have to remind myself that I feel so much better after I'm productive whenever I don't want to do something. But all right, guys. I know you just got up. No, nothing good this week. We'll try again next week. I checked all the new houses for the week and nothing good. But maybe next week. We'll see. Next week's our anniversary, so maybe something good for our anniversary will come up. But I think I'm going to end it here, y'all. I am going to upload this to YouTube. I know it's just a pure yapping session, but hopefully YouTube, let me know if you want me to continue to upload stuff like this. This is definitely meant more like put on and listen to, not necessarily watch, because I am just sitting at my yap desk. But let me know, YouTube. I'll see you next time. Bye, YouTube.